come back to you. Now we stay in the region. Young Moroccans reportedly have protested yesterday in front of parliament, demanding the release of demonstrators detained over recent weeks. A movement known as Genz 212 had surprised the usually stable Morocco kingdom in late September. The Moroccan Association for Human Rights has said that some 600 people, including minors, remain detained pending trial on suspicion of joining this movement. Protesters now continue to call for justice and the release of those held. Meanwhile, King Mohammed has recently addressed the nation, urging better improvements in public education and healthcare, which again are the key demands of the Genz movement too. But since King Mohammed did not mention the movement directly, it has left many protesters disappointed. Now, following the king's address, the Genz collective has still called for peaceful sit-ins as they continue to press for further reforms across Morocco. Since September 27th, the online-based Genz 212 collective has led near daily protests, expanding their demands to include anti-corruption measures and government change. Legal action has been taken against people participating in these protests, with some sentenced to prison, including a student who had received a 1-year term, whereas another arrested individual was given 5 years. Now for this discussion, we go back to Dr. Levi Nudu. He's a political analyst, joins us live from Johannesburg. Thank you very much, Dr. Nudu, for staying with us. Dr. Nudu, what more can you tell us about this ongoing Genz versus the Moroccan government situation?
There has always been this kind of conflict that has been taking place in Morocco. What we also not forget is that the other sector of society, which has always been struggling for matters that relates to self-determination and independence, which has always been the source of conflict. But also, there is something which is very common about African countries. It's about the suppression of the other group by the other. It is about conflict that relates to access to power. It's about the wealth or the resources that are available in the country. And what we always get is that the competition and contestation for the access to power, access to resources, has always been the source of conflict in many African countries. And the zeal, the contestation, the fight towards access to power has always been characterized by conflict and indeed unnecessary wars. And that is the source of the problem that we see in that part of the world. What appears to be the biggest challenge is the inability of those that are the major role players in this kind of conflict to be able to find one another in terms of being able to negotiate and agree on the way forward, on how to take the country forward. And my view is that if you are able to bring people that are in conflict onto the table, we could be able to find a solution to these challenges. And unfortunately, that is one thing that appears to be seriously lacking. You also need to see a lot of involvement from regional bodies like ECOWAS to ensure that where they identify elements of conflict, elements of disagreement, violation of human rights, they should quickly be able to intervene, stem their authority, and ensure that indeed there is peace that has to take place. Otherwise, if our regional bodies are not handy and quick to intervene, we might find ourselves in a situation where conflict continues on a continuous basis, and that has serious negative implications on the lives of the vulnerable, on the running of government, and indeed there could not be peace and stability in countries that are affected by such.
And Doctor, like you have rightfully mentioned, this rise of Morocco's youth, how do you think, how might this reshape the country's traditionally stable political landscape? And how do you think this could have the effects? What are the potential long-term implications for Morocco's governance and civil liberties, and also focusing on monarchy and public relations here?
It's important to take along the youth in terms of decision making, especially in government. It's also important to ensure that when you do your plannings, you also involve young people, because these are the people who are the future. It's also very important to make young people understand the governance, the processes and systems in the different countries, so that these young people are able to get acclimatized to the government systems and processes. What we have observed in Morocco is that young people have decided to stand up against the rulers because, as you know, there is a huge wave of democracy in the global world, and they know the benefits of democracy. And how we still in other countries embrace the issues of monarchy and other systems of government is very important to gradually educate our people about the systems of government and how different countries are structured in terms of governance. Because what they might be worried about are issues of constitutionality, are issues of the law. And if you need to make such changes, the first place to go will be to look at your constitution, make constitutional amendments so that we're able to change the structural issues in that country. So my view is that even though young people can be very strong activists, but they should also be able to utilize legal avenues that are available at their disposal, because that is the root of the challenges that they face in Morocco.
Yes, indeed. Always great learning from you. Thank you very much,